Today I wanted to talk about a simple strategy that the software allows you to do, and quite frankly it's one that we really haven't talked about in a while. Keep in mind that the software particularly was created for trading by traders. It's something that I've personally used for 20 something years, but we wanted to make it a little simpler. And one of the things that I was listening to some customers about the other day was that they're still trading demo trading accounts and they just haven't had the confidence to go out there and start placing trades. And so the strategy that I want to talk about today is one that'll give you that confidence that you need. And we'll talk a little bit about how to put that confidence into a trading plan so that you can actually get out there and start opening a live funded trading account and start placing real trades and start seeing the possibilities that the Forex has to offer. So in this particular case, we're going to be looking at the Euro US dollar. And what I wanted you to look at just the traditional charting in the software. And that's what we're looking at right now. Is we're looking at the traditional charting. We have candlesticks on there. Again, we're on the Euro US dollar. We're looking at a 60-minute time frame, and we have the candlesticks up there. And you'll see that I have two lines on there. Those are moving averages, and you're going to see something that most people have asked me about is, what is the wizard? Well, I'm going to show you what the wizard is. The wizard is something that allowed me to be able to go out there and trade, much faster, much easier, with a lot more confidence, and be able to confirm my trade before I actually went in there and started to place it. So now the first thing we're going to do is, I just wanted to show you again this chart we're on, the Euro US dollar. We have the moving average. It's kind of created an envelope in there, which I like to call the caution zone. All right, now let me tell you, take a look at this and tell me if you see anything that kind of looks the same. All right, so we're on charting. We go to the wizard. Okay, charting, the wizard. The wizard was simply created, again, so that you could quickly go through the different currency pairs and make a determination whether you want to buy or sell. Now, how many times have you actually gone out there and placed a trade where, you placed the trade, you got in, and all of a sudden it went against you, and you could swear that, somebody out there knows when you get in a trade, and they automatically make the market go against you every single time? Well, I know that's happened to me before. And then all of a sudden, your money management plan becomes you're taking a lot less profits on the upside and a lot more negative on the downside. And that simply comes from the fact that you've let emotions become involved in the trade. For instance, you may be getting in at a good opportunity to go long in the particular trade or short. However, it moves against you right away because on a shorter time frame you had a retracement and you weren't getting in at the optimum time. You then goes against you. You lose 25, 30 pips. You close out the trade, and 10 minutes later it's back in the direction that you were in, and you were all of a sudden right, but you're not in the trade. That happens all the time. So what we're going to talk about is a little strategy, and this is something we actually built into the software. It's been there a long time, and it allows you to time your trades much better. It's not new. It's stuff that I've used in the past on other softwares, but I call this the wave strategy. And what the wave strategy does is it allows you to see the buying and selling pressure as it builds. For instance, the reason we call it the wave strategy is if you've ever been to the beach, you see the waves as they build, and as the tide comes in, and the stronger the tide is and the bigger the waves are, the further they wash on shore. And so what you're really looking to do is you want to see that buying pressure or selling pressure as a wave. The more buying pressure that comes on, the bigger the wave is, the more it washes on the beach, the further it's going to go. And that's what we want to see. We want to be able to time our trades. So we're going to look at a couple of things in the software. Now, right now I have the main screen in the wizard. I have it blown up for you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to double click that, and it's going to show the other indicators that we have on the wizard. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually take our mouse, we're going to right mouse click it, and we're going to draw up the gray box here, and we're going to go down to toggle classic mode. You'll see it has a check mark on it right now. First thing we're going to do is we're going to actually take the toggle classic mode, we're going to click it so that there is no check mark. Now all of a sudden you'll see 4 wizard indicators. You'll see 3 across the bottom and 1 on the top. Now, one of the things that I like to do when we're talking about the wave strategy is I like to set up 4 time frames, and I like to have my long-term time frame basically at the farthest to the right. Okay, and that's down here in this box, the right-hand corner of the screen. We have that on 90. What we're going to do is we're going to click that box one time, and we're actually going to right mouse click it, and we're going to select a time frame. So we're going to select, for this particular case, we're going to do let's say 120 minutes. All right, then we're going to immediately move over to the one in the center, We're going to click that box, and we're going to make that probably half that. So we'll go right mouse click it, select 60 minute, which happens to be the 1 hour. And then we're going to go over to the farthest box on the left. We're going to click that, and we're going to right mouse click that, and we're going to make that 30 minutes. And then the one in the main screen, we're going to click on that, and then you'll see once we click on that, it's got the box right above it. Okay, it says 60-minute time frame. We're going to click on that, and we're going to select, let's say, 15 minutes. And once we do that, you'll see the 15 minute is highlighted in blue. We'll click back on the screen. Now, one of the things we want to do is we want to take a lot of the emotions out. We don't need to be looking at candlesticks. The wizard was actually created to take a basic chart formation, make it simple, and teach you how to basically go out there and convert that to trading on technical indicators on regular charts. You don't need to do that right now. We're going to make this pretty simple for you. First thing we're going to do on this chart is, if you look dead center, you'll see Euro US dollar drop down. Then next to that, you'll see a 15-minute time frame, which is what the chart's on. Next to that, you'll see candlestick. We're going to click the arrow next to it, and we're going to select price line. So that makes it a little easier. It's the same thing. We just aren't seeing all of the clutter on there. All right, now one of the things I want to show you is when you look at all these, obviously we have the red and the green, and we have the yellow caution zone. Again, it's not much different than actually looking at a chart, as you can see here, but what we're going to do is go back to the wizard and make it a little easier. Now what we're looking to do is we're looking to actually see a wave of buying and selling pressure. All right, in this particular case, we'll start at the shortest time frame, and as you can see that overall this thing has been down and trending down. As a matter of fact, we can scroll back and see that at this time frame right here at about 31:04, about 4:30 this morning, it started to move into the red zone. As this moved into the red zone here, all right, what we're looking to see is how strong is that move, and as that move continues to go down, it's going to affect the next time frame, and the next time frame is the 30-minute. So we go down here and we click on the 30-minute, and we'll take a look, and you'll see that this 15-minute continued to push into the red. All right, and if we push these arrows right here, this will bring us back to the current time frame, which is right where we're at. As you see, it's kind of gone sideways, moved a little into the green. Ultimately, it's still trending to the downside. Now over here, again at the 30-minute time frame, we went into the red. It stayed in the red. It's continuing to go in the red. The more that this 15-minute time frame here goes red, the more the 30-minute goes red. The more the 30-minute goes red, the more the 60-minute time frame goes red. As you can see in the center box, we'll look in the top left corner of the charts. Each chart has the currency pair and the time frame that we're looking at. All right, and we'll see that it's continuing to push into the red now, and that concerns me on this particular trade because the more it turns red, it's going to affect the long term, and our long term window is the 120-minute time frame. And you take a look at this 120-minute time frame, you'll see the overall trend has been green, okay, and it's been trending up, meaning buying. However, we'll see at the top here, it kind of flattened out and it started to move to the downside, and it's continuing to move to the caution. The overall caution zone is starting to round over. Now this causes concern for me because the particular trade here may be telling us that, hey, this thing's starting to go to the downside. And so we're talking about as entry times. Let's select the middle, the main screen. We'll click 120-minute time frame so that we can kind of blow it up. And we'll see that in this particular case, we'll scroll over, and we went green back over here at 27.63 on 11.15, and we've technically been in this trade ever since. It moved down a little, but overall the caution zone continued to move up, which moved the price up, and it ultimately went to 31.18. That would have been a substantial move. It's now moved back down, and as our money manager tells us, getting down to this level here in the caution zone may be time to protect our trade here. But we're going to continue to watch it. Now, one of the things that we talked about is the wave strategy, and I'm going to put this back to a 15-minute time frame. Here we go. And again, now, so what you do is when you go in there and you're using this time frame here, and this is a perfect example here in the center, is that this thing, is starting to move down. Okay, it's in the red. Everything is starting to move red. We have the 15-minute, the 30-minute, and the 60-minute time frame moving red. We see the 120-minute time frame now starting to push to the red. So for me, if I'm not in this trade, no problem. I'm going to continue to watch it. It's getting in the yellow, and it may even be an opportunity for me to go short in this particular trade. If I'm in it, I'm a little concerned right now because the simple fact that I've been in, I've got in, and I made some money on it. It's moving to the caution zone. I probably want to make sure my stops are in place. We'll talk about that on a different call, using our stops and limits with the trades and support and resistances. But I'm going to be watching this trade and ready to get out here to protect what I've already made in the trade. Now, if I'm going short, I'm going to continue to watch it. What I want to see is this 120-minute time frame move into the red zone. And once it moves in the red zone, I'm going to go back and I'm going to look. Where's the short time frames? The 15-minute in this case, the 30 and the 60. I want to make sure they're still committed to the red. Here's what happens. You place your trade on a longer time frame without looking at the shorter time frames, and all of a sudden, if you were to go back and look, and this long-term time frame says, hey, it's an opportunity to go short, you go back, this 15-minute may be in the green. It may just barely be in the green, which means ultimately it probably won't affect the long-term time frame, and that wave of pressure will subside. Now, once that happens, excuse me, once that happens, you'll be able to continue. Like, for instance, we're watching this live. This thing's continuing to push down on all accounts, and it's going to affect this 120-minute time frame as it's already gotten in the yellow. So as I'm watching this, I want to make sure that it doesn't go back in the green. And that's what we were just talking about, is people place this trade on a long-term time frame. The shorter terms have already retraced or recycled, move back into the green. It's okay. They're going to do that. Everything retraces and recycles in the markets. We just want to make sure on the short-term time frames that they're retracing and now in the direction that we ultimately want to go in. This particular case, this trade is setting up. Obviously, something's going on right now. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern time as we're recording this. So this is a great trade, especially for those that may be interested in going short. So overall, now one of the things you can do is to get your timing better, is we go in here on the middle of the chart and we click on it, and we right mouse click, and we go in here and we go show price points. Right now, as we show these price points, you see all these little boxes pop up on the price line. Now all we have to do is, if you have a mouse with a wheel, you can use that, or you can use your keyboard. If you don't have arrow keys on your keyboard, then you can use the arrows on your number pad. Just make sure the number lock is turned off. So we're going to click on the chart. I'm going to use the wheel on my mouse, and we're going to put less data on there so that we can see these boxes. Now look at the last two boxes on the right. All right, these two boxes here, the most recent and then the second to most recent, the line in between is the actual time frame. All right, that means it's a 15-minute time frame. This is the current 15-minute time frame, and until the next 15-minute time frame comes on, this line's going to continue to move. It could actually be straight up, straight down, move out, or anywhere in between during the active time frame. But once the time frame is closed, in this case 15 minutes, then it's actually going to stop, freeze, and then you can make a decision. So if we were to make a decision on this particular currency pair in a trade, we would only be looking at the second line in because it's frozen and it's not going to change any. So that tells you, it just stopped right on the caution zone. We wouldn't do anything. Right now we're all red, all right, and then we can click on each one of these boxes and put less time, less data, which I'm doing right now, so that we can kind of see what's going on. All right, and we see that the actual 120-minute time frame is still in the green, and it could end up stopping right here. All these other time frames while we're watching them could end up starting to move back to the upside in the green. And if it goes back into the green on the short term, on the 15-minute, that wave of buying may be strong enough to move the 30-minute. And if the 30-minute starts to move to the upside and goes back into the green, the stronger that wave moves on shore, the 60-minute will do the same thing. And then ultimately, the 20-minute will never actually even get into the yellow because the time frame hasn't stopped there. It could continue to move right back into the green. It'd be great for somebody that's already in the trade, or it'd be a reconfirmation that, hey, it's going to continue to move to the upside and you may want to try it. So what you want to do is, if you're currently trading a demo account, you want to use this strategy, the wave strategy, and you want to place lots of trades. Don't worry about losing any pips or anything. Don't worry about your support, resistance, stops, and limits. Place trades, take screenshots so you can go back and look and see where they're at. Work on your timing, your entry and exit into the market, okay? And just simply use this one strategy. You don't need to go back and look at all the charting or any of those other things to make it more complicated or so forth. Just use the wizard. And with that, I say happy trading, and we'll follow back up with the next module, which will be using support and resistance lines to create stops and limits and a better money management system.